Now, I've always said that I think reggae is the most beautiful music. Personally, I think reggae was birthed at the feet of Jesus Christ. And I mean, Leticia, you agree with me? You mean
So I'm sorry.
royalty, the king and
I
the
do.
father.
Reggae is so magnifying. It's magic.
It is. All right, for those persons who, listen, we're live on Love 101. If you want to see whose voice you're hearing, you can join me right now on YouTube and Facebook. We're live. Yeah, man, she live. All right, so Leticia, let me first ask you this. Who is Leticia K?
So
Talk to me.
Leticia K is a church girl, born and raised in Saint Elizabeth. I mean,
Uh-huh.
started chasing the music. I found out I could sing in church, so I
Right,
started chasing the secular world. You know how most young persons are,
right,
and I
right.
mean, I
Yeah.
did that for years, and
Uh-huh.
I was a part of a group for a while, Passionate Girls, and then the Lord just said to me, it's time. So I transitioned to gospel in 2014, and I've been like that forever
Oh,
from that time. Yes,
you transitioned to gospel in 2014,
yes,
and that is what you have been doing ever since.
yes,
All right, so we're inside beyond the song, beyond the heart of the song. I'm sorry, the heart of the song. No,
yes.
I want to know from you. This song says, "Royalty, the king of my father, fully blessed, nothing me no shatter." I
I
mean,
am.
where did the inspiration of these words come from?
I am fully blessed, and I'm
Uh-huh.
royalty. Just to
Right.
think about the things that God has done in my life. I mean,
Right.
I was blind almost 16 years ago, and was told that I would never see again. And
No,
God,
no, hold on. Stick up in. When you say blind, you mean like literally blind or like spiritually
completely.
blind?
No, well, I was both, but I was physically blind. Physically,
You mean you
yes.
couldn't see?
I couldn't see a thing. I had my first child in 2006, and
Right.
I lost my sight nearly a month after he was born. Um,
What?
and yes, I had
Wow.
struggled with myopia, which is nearsightedness, for years, as far as I could remember, because I think it's something that runs in my family. So
Uh-huh.
I was doing the contact lenses for a while, and somebody told me of a place that could do cheaper. So I went there, and
Mm-hmm.
some experiments were done, and I was fully blind, and I couldn't see anything. And I was told that I would never see again. And I said, no, not the experiences I have growing up in church, seeing my mother pray and seeing miracles happen down there in St. Elizabeth, in that little church in Carisbrook. My mother would just go to prayer for everything. So I said, you know what, prayer is the answer. And I started prayer, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I regained my sight. And my son will be 16 October, and it's been almost 16 years since I haven't gone and got my eyes tested again. And I'm not wearing contact lenses. I'm not wearing lenses, and I'm seeing you perfectly. So
Wow.
I am fully blessed. And there are a lot of other things that God has done, health wise, financial wise. I mean, every aspect of my life. So when I say I'm fully blessed, it's something I've lived. It's not just a phrase I picked up somewhere. It's literally my life. I am fully blessed.
So all right, so let me ask this. When you were in this state of being totally blind, what was going through your head? I mean, separate and apart from you saying that you would have seen your mother gone to prayer for everything. Isn't there anything that was saying that, yo, this is it for you? Because when they told you that you couldn't see again, did you at any time believe it in the least?
I did. I did. I believed. And the first day when I lost my sight, I was actually coming from that place where I went to do the experiment. And I was literally blind on the road. And it just came so fast. And I sat in the middle of the road. And cars were blowing from every direction, and I couldn't know where they were. And I said, God, this is my fate. And I was giving in at that time and
Wow.
wallowing to self-pity, because the experiences I had that time, I've never been blind before, and I was blind all of a sudden. And I said, well, God, this is it. But then the fight came back into me, and I remember that spirit that my mother had when something would go wrong and she would seek prayer. That kicked in, and I said, no, God, I'm not going down like this. And I started prayer. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I made myself a prayer room in one of my bathrooms. And I meet God every day for 4 o'clock in the morning. And I say, God, I'm not leaving you until you give me back my sight. And I wasn't even a Christian, but I knew the principles of being a Christian because I grew up in church. I was born in church. So I knew that prayer worked. But was just, um, curious of the world and wanting to explore. So I sought the music in another way. But I was very religious and modest about God, because that was my struggle in the secular world. There were things I wouldn't do because I knew the principles I had growing up in church. So I just went back to those and I said, God, I'm not leaving you until you bless me. And even there are days when I felt more blind, and I felt more blind. And
So,
that
so it
very
started
day,
to get worse. Like it's like it started to get
it
worse.
did got worse. But and then now I started learning to use my other senses, so I could walk myself after falling down the stairs so many times. I have a cut right here in my head. One
Oh
day
my God.
I asked somebody for some water who was staying with me that day, and she took so long, so I got mad and I stepped down the stairs to get my water, and I felt about 15 stairs down. I'm
Wha-
laughing now because it's funny.
Wow.
I felt, and I saw, look at things when you get a hard lick just run up and down in your head. I saw like a million of those.
Wow.
And I said, no, God, I'm not accepting this. And I said, I remember one morning I woke up and I had a long conversation with God. And I said, God, you have blessed me with this child. I was having my first son, 27 years old. And I said, God, no, you can't give him a son at this age. And no, I can't live because I feel as if I was dead living to see him, because I can't see
Mhm.
him. I can't. He'll be crying and I don't know where he is in the house, and I couldn't go to him. And I said, God,
Wow.
you can't take from my side. If you're gonna do this, take the child. And he said he will bless me, and I waited for him. And one morning I was outside because I would have mood swings. There were days when I would be upbeat and say, yes, me I go sit today. And
Mm-hmm.
happen, and then we get kind of,
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
I
yeah.
go back to
It's
God.
human nature. It's
Yes.
human nature, right?
So this morning, a particular morning, I was very down, and I went outside and I sat under a tree. I had a little workout area because I was
Mm-hmm.
big on exercise, and I sat on one of my benches and I was thinking about it. I said, boy, I can't even see for workout. So
Right.
I feel around, and
Mm-hmm.
I held my head down and I saw something red passing. I couldn't see anything else, but I knew I saw something red, bright red. I was like, what is that? Because all I was seeing for months was darkness. And I called the person who was staying with me and I said, I see something red pass. What is it? She says, your son, he's creeping and holding up. And I said, what?
So all of this you
I
weren't seeing,
missed out on
you
all
never
of those things
experienced
with my
any of
son.
that?
No, I missed out on all of that with my son because I was having mood swings, and when I'm around him, I would feel like, so disappointed, as if I disappointed my son not being able to do the things that mothers do. So I wouldn't want to hold him too
Wow.
much. And I hold him up in front of me like this. And all I could see was red because he was wearing a little red shirt. And I said, God, thank you for my sight. Thank you for my sight. And every day I go into that bathroom, I say, God, thank you for my sight. I've never asked him for sight again because I knew that was it. I knew
So
that was it. I
this
knew
is
that was it.
this
And
is
every day it got better. I remember about 3 weeks after that experience, my neighbor, Louise, if she's watching, lovely lady. I mean, and she felt it so much for me because her aunt was blind for 30 years and she got blind round about my age. So she would cry every day when she see me. She would say, Lord, I can't believe you're going to go where auntie was. And so I saw her passing. I just saw her shape, her silhouette. And
Right.
I called her. I said, Auntie Louise. And she said, Kay. I said, yes. She said, are you seeing? I said, yes, I'm seeing, but all I could see was the silhouette. But I claimed it. And I said, yes. And she said, walk to the gate. And I pulled the grill. And when I was pulling the grill, it was merely faith because I couldn't see the holes in the lock. But I did. And I opened the grill and I walked to her. And she held my face and she said, oh God, me can't believe. She said, where did you go? I said, I prayed. And
Mm-mm.
after that, my sight got better and better and better and better. Can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you how old I am now. But I am seeing much, much better than I was seeing at 18 years old.
So, all right, so hold on. Let me ask you this. So how old was your son when you regained your sight?
My son was almost 1 year old.
Jesus. So you would have lost your sight for
I,
almost
I've,
a
I
year,
lost,
and
I lost,
you were still having the
yes,
faith that you would have received your sight.
yes. I lost my sight. I mean, and I went through this merely alone because I was so, a lot of my friends didn't know I was going through this. I just withdrew myself and they were wondering what was happening because it was a very confusing time for me. I didn't, sometimes there are persons I would let in and they're giving me advice. And I said to them, I am not going anywhere. I'm going to stay with God because He's going to do this for me.
Mm-mm.
And
Wow.
I mean, I tell you, that experience alone
Well,
is is everything to me. Is it?
no,
There's nothing that God cannot do for me. There's nothing in the world.
I mean, with a testimony like that, it would be very sad if you did not have the amount of faith that
I do,
is
yes.
necessary. You know what? I think the time is for this kind of conversation. The time is a little bit too short, you know.
Oh Lord.
But I need to know: is there? I mean, this here came out. What year did this come out? 2019,
20.
2020. Yes,
Yes.
2020. So this here is. I mean, the people when Leticia is saying royalty and she fully blessed, she knows exactly what she's. And this is
Amen.
that is the reason why we have shows like this and Love 101 beyond the heart of the song. No, you can see where you can hear the conviction in the fact
Two,
that she
two,
know.
two experiences wrote this song.
Look here, we don't think we have time for your next one, because
Amen.
you're gonna stir up things right here. You know, wow. I'm amazed. It's not that I don't believe that God can work miracles, but some of
He
the times
can.
when people talk about their experiences and you literally get it directly from them, it is just wow. Give me a little piece of what is, because I'm almost out of time. I'm probably even out of time already.
Yeah.
Give me a little
So when
piece
when
of.
when the song was finished, right?
Right.
I went to visit my girlfriend quickly,
Uh-huh.
and there were some robberies happening in my area, and
Uh-huh.
my neighbor called me and told me. So I told my friend that I'm leaving. So I left. She's 5 minutes away from me, so she's on the other street.
Right.
So as I walked out of her house and was walking towards my street, I saw two men walking very fast to me, and I said, "Oh yeah, this is it."
Mm-mm.
So they walk up to me and push a gun in my chest, and I said, "What do you want from me?" And one of them say, "Money and phone." I had some valuable information on my phone at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the reason for me visiting my friend, because my I didn't have a laptop at the time. My laptop was broken. So I couldn't convert the documents on my phone. I had to use a laptop
Right.
because it was very confidential documents. So I said, I can't give you my phone. I have some very important documents on it and I can't give it to you, but I can pray for you.
That's what you said to them?
Yes. And I took the gun from my chest and I put it down to his side and I hold on to him and I said, restoration in the name of Jesus. And God said to me, don't say anything else. And I stopped and I said to them, God is going to restore you. And when I looked in his face, I saw my son. It was if I was talking to my son. And I said, God is going to restore you. And he said to me, don't tell anybody. I said, no, I don't need to tell anybody when the one who up there sees and knows everything. I will not tell anybody. And I walked away and I went home. I went home and I called the police and they said to me, what did they take from you? I said, nothing. And they said, what do you mean? But dozens of persons in your community was robbed. And I said, I prayed for them. The police officer said, are you a madman? Are you a madwoman? I said, no. When I say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you think it's a ritual? It's something I expect to happen because I serve a God who is bigger than anything. And so I went home and I changed the second verse of the song. I said, yet though I walk through the valley of the
Explain
shadow
no.
of death, no evil never conquer me yet. I am protected and covered by the power of the blood. He is my security. Goodness and mercy all the days of my life. That's how that part came about.
Oh my God. Listen.
This song was not the song I wanted to release. I had a lot of other demos. And when
Mm-hmm.
I went into the studio, my engineer, Lamar Thompson, one of the greatest out of
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that's my opinion,
Right, right,
said
right.
to me, this is a song you should release without even knowing anything about me. He didn't know my
Wow.
testimony. I don't think he knows my testimony now. And we've been working for a long time. And I don't think he knows my testimony. And he said to me, no, this is the song you must release. When I went there and I said, Lamar, I have this song. And he said, but this one. This one you're supposed to put out first. Fully blessed is what you're going to be
Wow.
known for. You're the first one to do that. And the song captures his heart. And he said, this is my hit song. He told me when we did the song, when the harmony was to put on, when the person came in to do the harmony, she said, this is our hit song. This is not even about this can go everywhere. She was saying this song can be played everywhere. Anybody can relate to it. What is my testimony?
Mm, mm. People.
And that's what God wants for us from us. He wants us to live and
Oh
share
my God.
and talk about him in a way that is simple and across the board that everybody can understand. Everybody can understand. It's your blessing does not have to be material things. It can be physical. Your health. I am blessed with health. I am healthy today. Yes. My
That's
mind is healthy. I'm beautiful. I know that because I'm royalty. I'm a daughter
wow.
of the heavenly king,
Wow.
beautifully made by him.
No,
No
sir.
short and nothing.
You see, you come mash up the people and show. You see, you come mash up the people and show. Quickly before we close off, though, is there anything new from Leticia K?
Yes, I
Anything in the
have
pipeline?
I have two singles. It should have been out in February, but because of some things beyond my control,
Right.
coming soon the ending of this month. Two singles will be out.
Mm,
And it will be great, just as fully blessed. Because
just
God
as
has
fully
blessed me
blessed.
to create.
Oh my God, we are speaking with Leticia K. She is the right hand singer of Fully Blessed. And if you missed her story, missed her testimony, guess what? You can go on our YouTube and Facebook page and you can watch it. And for those persons who want to hear it again and again and again and again, it will be there. Anything you want to say to persons out there, no, any encouragement that you'd want to give to somebody who is listening or watching us live right now?
I just want to say, any Christians out there who are aspiring to become musicians, let God inspire you.
Mm-hmm.
He is the greatest inspiration you could ever have. And just serve him. He says, I mean, seek ye first the kingdom, and all things will be added.
Right.
Inspiration will be added. I mean, connections will be added. God will send your destiny helpers to do the work. All you have to do is be grateful and just wake up and say, thank you. Thank you. A lot of us wake up every day and we put our minds on the things that we don't have, but just focus on what God has given you and be grateful and just tell him thanks. Just be grateful and say
Mm.
thank you for all that you have provided for me, and everything else will be added.
You know what? I want to say thank you so much for joining me today on the Heart of the Song, because I'm certain like a lot of people, some people have never experienced someone who have had your type of healing. They've never
Amen.
seen or heard it from somebody who literally got it like you have. They probably have seen it on TV, but to know that a Jamaican
Yeah.
woman who was blind for almost a year
Amen.
literally stood in faith for her sight, and I say,
I mean,
better that when God heal him, you know.
yes.
I'm not
You
joke
know,
healing, you know.
2 years ago, because I do volunteer a lot.
Right.
So in my community, so we brought in the Lions Club and we had an eye clinic there. And
Mm-hmm.
I worked with them for throughout the day. And the doctor said to me at the end, come on, from morning your work, come get your eyes test. I said, no, God has tested these, and he says that I have sight and I don't need a second opinion,
Oh
because you would have written me off if you knew my story. Right now, I'm sure if I sit in front of your equipment, it would say I'm blind.
you know what? Look here.
But what God says final. It
Look
don't
here.
matter what man said. What God says is final. What God says about me
Woo.
is final. So I'm gonna say to you, it doesn't matter what the enemy says about you. What God says about you is final.
You know what? If I follow this thing, I will stay on this show for the whole time talking to Leticia. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I really do hope
Thank
that persons
you.
who are listening, that you are blessed and you understand that you are fully blessed. Leticia K,
Amen.
all the best to you. And of course, we'll link up and we'll talk again. And
Yes,
I
man.
look forward to those two singles. At the end of look here, you know my
I
email.
know,
We'll
I
try and
know.
make sure. I understand what I'm saying?
I
We'll
know,
try and make
right?
sure, okay? All right. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. All right.
Thank you for having me too. It was
It,
it was a pleasure.
it was a pleasure having you
Thank
on
you.
here.
And to all those who are watching, I know my friends are watching. I thank you a lot for tuning in and for all the support toward my ministry. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leticia. Oh my God. You see, let me tell you something. People. Oh my God. All right, Leticia, take care of yourself. All right.
You too. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, Leticia K right there, royalty. This is the time of love is 11 o'clock. I'm gonna take a break right here. Thank you so much, Leticia K, for joining me today on the Heart of the Song. And what a testimony you have. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here. You're tuned to Love 101, the family station. This is the Gospel Train. So much more coming your way. Yeah, this is Love 101, the family station.